Shabbat Shalom, fam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, guys, we're glad that you all can join us today. We made it through another week, family. Another week. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Another week in Babylon. Another week surviving the Matrix.
Right.
So it's been rough. I don't know how y'all week been, family, but we made it and we here. So hallelujah.
Right.
And
yes.
all praises be to Yah because
absolutely
a lot of people didn't make it.
Ain't that the truth?
I know y'all been hearing and following the news, family, about what happened with to the people in the submarine. So nothing is for granted, and these were multi-millionaires. So
they had a father and a son. Oh my goodness!
Right.
The dad paid $500,000.
It was $500,000. Well, $250,000 a seat. Yep. So both of them $500,000.
Right, $500,000.
So that's just unbelievable.
So This is I guess when Yah shows us like really who's in control.
Who's in control?
You know,
who's
life is not promised to none of us, and who is in control, and money neither.
Absolutely, no matter what that scripture you read a while back where it says he's not he's not a judge of character, but he doesn't distinguish between rich and poor. He just doesn't make distinguishes. It doesn't matter, family. Rich, poor, king, prince, it doesn't matter.
No respect of
no
persons.
respect of persons.
Right.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking of too. Who was that? Was that Solomon when he was saying all of the things he had?
Right.
And it was all vanity.
Ecclesiastes. Right.
At the end, he realized it was all vanity.
Right. So that's powerful, but yeah, family, we got to give all praises to Yahuah because we are here and we made it another week. Nothing is for granted, like Sister Abigail said.
Absolutely.
So, family, today we're going to be talking about our topic, very important topic. We're talking about the power of self-control, family, and the hidden dangers of impulsive behavior. Family, we have to be on the lookout for that. And we all fall victim to it.
Absolutely.
So it's something that we have to be aware of, and something that Yah wants us. He wants us to have self-control. Remember, family, that's a fruit of the spirit. To have that self-control, to walk in Yah's word, to walk in alignment with His word, and for us to do that, we must walk in have that self-control.
Right.
Because it's very important, family, and we're gonna see that all throughout scriptures. And not having that lack of self-control, family, we know that leads to our that minimizes our walk with Yah. That distracts us from our walk with Yah. Other things get in our way, distractions. That causes distractions. It could be a major stumbling block.
Absolutely. What is that scripture when it talks about with self-control and discipline is pretty much the same thing. And when it talks about a person without discipline.
Oh, yep, it's without walls.
It's like a city without walls.
Yep, we're gonna read that scripture. So, yeah, the lack of self-control, it affects our walk with Yah. It affects our health, family, our finances. I mean, our relationships, all things, family. I know y'all know the stories. I'm sure y'all have them too. But it all stems from a lack of self-control. Impulsive behavior, impulsive mindset, bringing that under control. And a lot of times too, family, it's in the culture that we live in because, and especially in America, what they promote. Well, that's in the culture worldwide. They promote instant gratification. Get it now.
Right.
Buy on impulse. You want something, go get it.
Yes, make a decision on impulse.
Exactly. That's why when
thinking things through.
Right. That's why when we walking through the stores, they put those little bubble gums in the front, the candy bars in the front, so you don't even think about it. Right.
All kind of taste
snacks,
stuff.
all kind of stuff.
And then, so a lot of times, I mean, which we know it's a marketing trick, but a lot of times people end up buying that stuff.
Right.
On impulse.
Now that we're talking about it, I'm thinking about it. Notice in the front too, when you're in the front of the store by the register, that's all cheap stuff. Why they don't have nothing that's like $300-400 in the front?
Right. Or the healthy stuff.
Right.
In the front.
Exactly. It's all cheap stuff that you don't think twice about.
Right, and things that's not real food. To be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's very true. And you would know, Mama.
Yeah.
You would know.
Yeah.
You would know.
I'm a health fanatic.
Yeah, big health fanatic. Big health fanatic. So let's dive into the scriptures, family. Let's dive into our lesson of the day. We're talking about self-control. Now, the word self-control, it's not, they don't really have it in the Old Testament. It's used only one instance, and that it's control. They don't have self-control in the Old Testament. You see it a lot in the New Covenant. But if we look it up in the Hebrew, Strong's number 4623, that word is masar. That's M-A-T-S-A-R, family. Matsar. And the definition is restraint, control. So having some sort of restraint. And it makes a lot of sense. We got to have restraint in how we conduct ourselves.
Right.
If we don't, just like the scripture we just said, is you're like a city without walls. It's a free fall.
Right.
Anything goes, family. And that's not the way we should conduct ourselves.
You can get out of character.
Very quick. Very quick. And a lot of us, when we came out of religion, we really didn't have no self-control. We really didn't have no self-restraint, because that's what religion teaches.
Right.
Religion doesn't teach against sin.
Right.
That's why they want you to keep coming back. Again, it's a business. Repeat business. The more you sin, the more you keep acting out of control, the more you have to keep coming back, asking for forgiveness, and thinking if I'm doing something on Sunday, my life is going to change.
That's true.
But that's not true, family. That's not true at all.
It's not true. And a lot of them are just riding on grace.
Oh my goodness. Let's not talk about grace. Grace.
Oh my goodness.
In Christianity today, grace means I have a license to do whatever I want.
Whatever I want
because
to do.
I'm under grace.
I'm under grace. Jesus died for me. And because he died for me in the sins of the world,
it doesn't matter what I do.
I'm forgiving none for my sins. I'm forgiving what? I'm forgiving for my past sins, my sins now, and my future sins.
So why you need the Bible? You might as well throw the word out, family, if that's your belief.
Right.
That my future sins.
And you might as well create your own belief, because that's exactly what they're doing.
Exactly.
But the scripture doesn't teach that.
And why would Yah punish us? Why would he condemn us or bring destruction on us if we living under this grace thing and saying no matter what we do, we're going to be saved? My future sins are, I'm what?
Right.
I mean, religion come up with some crazy doctrines, family.
Crazy doctrines, and they look at Yah as though Yah is just all lovey-dovey and like he's a passive Elohim.
Right.
And that, I mean, when I hear that, I'm like, if you guys only knew, he's not a passive Elohim. He is very loving, very merciful, and very forgiving. But he's not passive.
No, he's not.
He's an Elohim of justice too.
No, he's not.
And judgment.
Exactly. Can't have one without the other, family. Let's continue. That word self-control, like I was just saying, in the Greek, in the New Testament, that's Greek number 1466, and that word is enkrasia, and it means mastery, self-control, self-restraint, continence. When you look at, they did a Helps word study about it, and it says for the believer, says self-control, spirit control can only be accomplished by the power of Yahuah. They say Lord, but we saying Yahuah. It says accordingly, akresia, true mastery from within, is explicitly called a fruit of the Kodash spirit. And they're getting that from Galatians, like we said. Self-control is a fruit of the spirit, which Paul always talked about.
Right.
We have to have self-discipline, self-control, family. And when I think about it, like I said earlier, you think about self-control, family, self-discipline. It's really a impulse issue. Being impulsive, not thinking things through.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people get into trouble. That's where a lot of people sin. That's where a lot of people stumble. Because they don't think things through. They're just thinking,
bad judgments.
Make bad judgment, bad decisions, because they're only thinking about now. Glorifying the flesh, gratifying the flesh in the moment, family.
Right.
Cambridge Dictionary has the definition of it. You want to read that? That's for what is it? Impulsiveness.
Impulsiveness. Yes, it says showing behavior in which you do things suddenly without any planning and without considering the effects they may have.
Wow. Suddenly, behavior in which you do things suddenly without any planning and without considering the effects they may have. That reminds
not thinking things through.
Right. We just said that. That reminds me too of like you were saying, big health fanatic. When we eating family, we eating these burgers or we overeating whatever, indulging. We worried about it gratifying right now, but we don't think about the after effects later on down the road.
Right. If we eat too many.
Right. If we eat too much of it. And just indulging in that thing. So
we're talking about like fast food.
Right, yeah, unhealthy food and stuff like that. And we're not saying either. Nothing's wrong with treating yourself every now and then, and especially if you're active, where you can sweat those calories off or whatever. Use those calories, but it's very important, family. We have to consider, and that's one of Satan's strongest tactics. The impulsiveness, us not thinking it through.
Absolutely.
That's how he gets it. That's what we was talking about. The immediate gratification.
I'm thinking of this when you said that, like how many times have you guys either seen or have been through this where you was in a situation where somebody tempted you, where they told you something that you didn't like,
right?
You know, or that was offensive, and you just immediately reacted. And then after the fact, you was like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe I act like that."
Right, I wish I can get that back.
Right, and you know, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't want to do that."
Right.
So that's what made me think. I mean, when you said that, it made me think of this.
And they got examples all throughout the scriptures, family. Of again, that's one of Satan's biggest tactics with not thinking things through, like the definition said. The example you just gave, which was perfect, is somebody telling you something, making you get out of character.
Right.
Well, we always say all the time, family. Satan used people, he used instances, he used situations to get you out of character, to tempt you, to provoke you, to accuse you, accuse you to YAH, to say, look, you see, they're not a true follower. Look how they acting out.
Absolutely.
They don't really follow your word. They're going against your word. So we have to be aware of that, family, because again, that is Satan's probably number one tactic.
Absolutely, and he's an accuser of the brethren as well.
Exactly. That's his mission. Example in the scriptures, family, perfect example of impulsive thinking, not having self-control. Esau. Esau. Remember what Esau did, family? Esau sold his birthright for a plate of food.
Oh, right.
He was hungry, so he's like, man, I gotta eat. Whatever I gotta do to fill my belly, to gratify my flesh. Sold his whole birthright, family,
for some food.
For a plate of food. Let's read that, family. That's Genesis chapter 25, starting at verse 29 through 34. Let's go into let's look in the Sefer.
We'll read through the Sefer today, you guys.
Let's see what the chapter 25 verse 29 through 24. You want to read that? 29 through 34. That's it right here, 25.
Well, I thought
verses 29.
Oh, okay. So it's 25 verses 29. And I'm reading till what?
Till 34.
Okay, it says this Bible is big. Well, this book. It says, and Yaakov Sad Patach and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, to Jacob, really.
Yaakov.
Yep, Yaakov. To Yaakov, feed me, I pray you, with that same bread pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob, it says Jacob, but I mean it's Jacob. And Jacob said, sell me this day your birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am the point to die.
Mm-hmm.
And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Mm.
And Jacob said, swear 7 oaths to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
Mm.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage.
Pottage is stew, family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a stew. Mm-hmm.
Of lentils.
Mm-hmm.
And he did eat and drink, and rose up, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
Mm. Wow. Wow, family. You see how Jacob, impulsive thinking, not thinking about the future. He's just worried about gratifying my flesh. In the moment, he sold his birthright. Sold his inheritance.
Wow.
Because he wanted to eat. Because he wasn't thinking about the future.
Right.
Because he didn't have self-control, family. And how many times that happened to people? We've heard a bunch of stories. People, lack of self-control. Didn't think about the future, what would happen. And y'all took them away just like that.
Right.
So it's just, it's crazy, family. It's crazy.
Brought some type of judgment upon their lives, you know, because they couldn't hear y'all's voice because they acted so quickly. You know.
Exactly. And something too that when I'm talking to the kids that I always tell them is, family, our feelings are fleeting. So it don't matter if you're angry, hungry, whatever it is, mad, it's fleeting.
Right.
It's just like the wind is gonna come and it's gonna go. It's gonna stop. So if you wait, if you have some self-control, it's gonna pass.
Right.
You're gonna be all right.
True.
Jacob like, man, I'm about to die, so give me the food. To heck with a birthright. If he was patient, waited a little bit longer, I'm sure he would have eaten.
Right.
He would have eaten.
Right.
But nah, he's like, I gotta eat right now. What good is this birthright to me?
Right.
So come on, family. We have to have some sort of self-control. Because if we don't have self-control, a lot of time we blocking our blessing.
Right.
Because we want it now.
Want it now.
We want it now.
And that's the majority of the world today.
Instant gratification, family. Let's look at Cain, another example. This is Genesis chapter 4, verses 3 through 8, family. Genesis 4.
Before you move on, let me ask, what Esau, they say he was, why did he want the stew? Because he was
hunting and he came back and
was weird.
to eat. Yep, he was tired. So he wanted to eat.
Oh my!
That's another thing. That don't they tell you in psychology that not to make no major decisions when you're angry or when you're hungry?
Oh, absolutely.
That's when Satan attacked. We read that about Yahuah when he had went on his fast. That's when Satan came after him, at his weakest point.
Absolutely.
So we have to be aware of that, family. Right.
Points you have to sit down and actually think things through. Because that's the time when you're vulnerable the most.
Right. Absolutely. Because it happened in scriptures. We see it all the time. So that's the time you have to be aware of, fam. Like,
he would have eaten. That was just in the moment.
Like he wasn't going to eat again.
Right.
How long they say the body can go without eating? Like 3 days or something? He came back tired, weary. Like, nah, I'm about to die. Really?
He could have drank some water.
Exactly. No.
Waited a minute.
No, brother. Let's look at Cain, family. We did a lesson a couple of weeks back. Cain and Abel. Definitely go check that out. Seed of Cain. Though we know his anger, he had a lack of self-control.
Right.
Caused him to murder.
Right.
Genesis chapter 4, verses 3 through 8. Let me read that. It says, and in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground of Yahuah to Yahuah. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And Yahuah respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So Yahuah said to Cain, why are you angry? And why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? So Yah is telling the family, will you not be accepted if you do well? You don't have to worry again what your brother is doing. Why are you coveting what he did? Why are you jealous of what he did? Focus on yourself.
Right.
Have self-control.
Right.
And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you shall rule over it. Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and killed him. So again, family, we see in the same situation. Lack of self-control. He got angry because he seen what Yah accepted his brother's offering and not his. Jealous spirit.
Right.
Lack of self-control.
Right.
Can't control his emotions. Can't control his feelings.
Right.
Getting in his feelings. We can't do that, family. We cannot do that. Again, like I said, you're blocking your blessings.
Absolutely.
Blocking. We have a hard time just focusing on what we're doing, family.
Right.
That's kind of the point of this lesson.
Right.
Like, we have so much to focus on just on our walk and what we doing. We don't have time to be worried about what other people doing.
Absolutely.
What other people saying.
Right. Right.
What's that old saying? They say the grass is green on the other side of the fence. It's not true, family. The grass is greener where you water it.
Right.
It's greener where you water it. I put out that little video this week about the okra. Remember, the okra didn't start out like that. Gardening and all that stuff. You have to water it and tend to it.
Yes.
Focusing on it. Putting love into it. And you're going to reap a reward, family. That's what we're saying.
No, I love okra.
And this is what we're in now. June. It's going to last till October. So,
because it starts getting cold out here in October.
Right. Especially down south. So, and we have like mild winters. So, sometimes it's in December and it's still hot. So, I mean, it's just all over the map. You never know down here in Louisiana. What they say, you blink your eyes and the weather going to change.
Right.
So, another example too, family. Let's talk about Moses. Well, before we even get into that, we're talking about how not controlling your feelings, not controlling your emotions, how that can lead down a dangerous path. We see that Esau, he killed his brother. Think about it. That's brothers. We had that story.
Esau?
I mean, not Esau. Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. Sorry, family. But he killed his brother. That's how mad he got. That's all the lack of self-control he had. So much he got outside of himself. We heard a story around here a couple of years back about this family. This family was close.
Right.
Two brothers got into an argument.
It's a big family.
Yeah, big family. Yep, siblings, and then they were, like I said, they were close. Never known for getting out of character or doing wild stuff. One of the brothers killed the other brother, but he was so angry that's what it ended up happening.
Got a knife and stabbed his brother.
And we know from what we heard, he didn't mean to do it, but out of anger, getting outside of himself, a lack of self-control. Sometimes too, family, like we're in these situations, sometimes we got to step back. Say, man, maybe I need to walk away from this.
Right.
Maybe I need to control myself. Maybe I need to rethink what's going on.
Right.
Because a lot of times too, what we always say when we talking, people who have guns or whatever, or who have firearms, we see how people end up dying. See how people end up getting shot. Because when you get angry, you go into a fit of rage where you can't control yourself.
Absolutely. And you know what I was thinking about when you were talking? Road rage.
Oh my goodness.
How many stories have you heard from people who got angry while they were in their vehicles at somebody who passed them up or who was blowing the horn like a lunatic, telling them get out the way and all of this stuff and get it. What about that professional? You remember that professional football player?
Yep. A Saints player, New Orleans Saints player. Yep. Got into a road rage incident with an average citizen, regular guy. And you know, NFL, I think he was like a offensive lineman or something. Big guy, about 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds. I mean, you see a guy like that, he's intimidating. He walked up to the guy's car and then it was some kind of road rage incident. Little guy shot out and killed him. Yep. So it happens.
It happens.
It happens, guys.
We have to be very, very aware of our anger too, because the anger could cause you to do so much in a short amount of time, and you look and you like, what happened?
Quick, go from 0 to 100 in an instant. So that's why we're telling y'all, family, you'll have to have some sort of self-control, self-discipline, because it can go bad very, very quickly. And you could be blocking your blessings. Y'all could strike you down in that instance because you had a lack of self-control. You have to be aware of that, family.
Right.
We warning you. That's what we're trying to tell you guys.
Right. And this is for all of us.
Right.
You know,
that other story too. We saw that a couple of years ago. This was like a custody battle type deal, and I mean, these people filmed it on the internet. Mom had a new boyfriend, and the mom had custody of the child. You know, it's one of those deals where they each parent gets a weekend or whatever. They have to come get the child, and the dad went to the mom's house with the boyfriend. I mean, I think the child was supposed to be at the mom's house, but instead the mom was at the boyfriend's house with the son, and then the dad went.
Actually, was it the mama? I mean, what? Or they was living together. They wasn't staying together.
They might have been staying together.
Yes, the couple was staying together.
They might have been staying together.
The mom, she had a new boyfriend.
Right,
they was living together.
Right.
And the dad went to get his son to pick him up.
Right.
To take with him, I guess, to spend some time with him.
Absolutely. And he got there and he was fussing with the mom, saying, "You're trying to keep my son away from me."
Right. The mother didn't want her son to go.
Right.
She was like, "No, this is not your weekend. He's not going." And then you remember, I'm saying it right, right? Yep. And I guess you can feel
right. I know they was fussing about the date, and then the mom didn't want him to go.
He
and
just
all that.
showed up.
Right.
He just showed up, and he wasn't supposed to because they had visitation rights.
Right. And again, had a lack of self-control. He's not thinking, I'm going to another man's house, his territory. And I mean, he was like a raging bull, family.
And the man was telling him, leave.
Right, the man was warning
him. Get away. He even showed him the gun.
Again, and going
a
back
shotgun.
Right. Before even getting to that, before you even get the shotgun, this guy, the dad, what we're talking about, the football player, the dad was about like 6'2", 6'3". The boyfriend was like 5'6", 5'7". Little short guy.
Short guy.
So they were fussing head up, and the stepdad was looking up at the dad like, and it was like face to face, like, "You better get off my property." And the man was like, "What you gonna do, huh? What you gonna do? Do something." Like, man was like, "All right, hold on." And they were fussing outside. The man was like, "I'll be right back. You ain't in this house, family. Wayne grabbed his shotgun. Come back outside."
He even showed the man. He was like, Leave. That's my last time telling you.
The man was like, "What you gonna do with that?" Like, "I'm not scared of that." Braced up to the stepdad again. Man gave him a warning shot. I don't know if you guys probably seen this. A couple of years ago, he shot on the ground. Boom! At the man's feet. Man still stayed there. He pushed him. The man just stepped back. Boom! That was it.
And that was in front of the son. That was in front of the son.
In front of the son.
The son was young. He was probably about 6, maybe 7 years old. Bless his Lord. It was so sad. It was so sad to see. But when you're angry,
and you have a lack of self-control,
the man just showed up there saying, "I'm coming to pick up my son."
Right.
And that wasn't his visitation rights. And the woman kept telling him, "Leave. Get off of my property. This is not your weekend."
Right.
So all he had to do was just leave. But instead, he wanted to cause some kind of chaos because he was really jealous and upset that the woman, his ex-wife, had a new man.
The definition says showing behavior of impulsiveness in which you do things suddenly without planning and without considering the effects they may have. So you see how that impulsiveness is dangerous, family?
Yes.
It's very dangerous. I mean, that's an extreme example, but in other ways, like what we're saying with diet, it trickles and it shows up later on in life.
A little leaven levens
exactly,
the whole lump.
Exactly. That's what we're saying, family. So we have to be aware of this, family. We have to be very careful, family. Very, very careful. Let's talk about Moses. Same thing happened to Moses. Moses got angry, and what happened? He didn't get his inheritance. This is Numbers.
Right here?
Chapter 20. You want to start at reading at verse 8? Oh, you can start at 2. All right, 2.
This isn't that seafood. We're going to try that again. With those names
right,
in here.
Right.
It says, let's see, we started at, Numbers 20, verse 2. It says, and there was no water for the assembly. And they gathered themselves together against Moshe, which is Moses, and against Aaron, and the people shied with Moses, with Moshe. She used to say
shied mean contended, fussing with him, angry with him,
and spoke, saying, "Would to Elohim that we had died when our brethren died before Yahuah. And why have ye brought up the assembly of Yahuah into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have ye made us to come up out of the Mizraim to bring us in unto this evil place?" And Mizraim is Egypt.
Right.
"It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink." And Moshe and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of Yahuah appeared unto them. And Yahuah spoke unto Moshe, saying, "Take the rod and gather the assembly together, you and Aaron your brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water, and you shall bring forth to them water out of the rock. So you shall give the assembly and their beasts drink." And Moshe took the rod from before Yahuah as he commanded him. And Moshe and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock. And he said unto them, "Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock?" And Moshe lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly, and the assembly drank, and their beasts also. And Yahuah spoke unto Moshe and Aaron, "Because ye believed me not, to satisfy me in the eyes of the children of Yashrael, therefore ye shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them."
Wow.
This is the water of Meribah. Because the children of Yashrael strove with Yahuah, and he was sanctified in them.
Wow. That's a powerful passage, family. A powerful story. That's something that we always talk about. People can get you out of character. That's what happened with Moses.
They were complaining
They were complaining, and Moses was like,
"Y'all want some water?
Y'all want some water? Hold on. You rebels?"
And it made
him rebels?
Angry to the point of where he just...
And he didn't even listen to Yah. Yah told him, talk to the rock.
Right.
So instead of talking to it, he struck it. And Yah like, because you didn't believe me, you all these people not going to make it into the promised land. That's why he said, I'm going to kill them and their children going to come in. Joshua going to come in. Going to make it into the promised land. So, family, that's what we're saying. People can get you out of character. That's something that you have to be aware of.
And that's we see Moses, it happened with him. And I'm sure they have a lot of other examples in the scriptures. So it can happen with us too. So we just have to be very mindful.
Right. I'm sure it happened to you, family. I'm sure y'all got y'all stories of certain situations where either you lost self-control, you had a lack of self-control, or somebody tried to get you out of character.
Right.
Drop your story in the comment. Let us know.
And we do understand.
Right. Like I said, it happens to us. Sometimes we got to be aware of it. I told a story when I was on the job, and the guy tried to come at me, try to get me to fight, make me lose my job. Another story when it was with the lady that worked in the office. She was having a bad day, and I just went up to her and asked her a question. The lady just went off, family. Just went off, and she never did that before. But she tried to get me out of character. And if I would have did it, if I would have went off like she did, guess what they'd have told Brother Rasha? You got to go. But Yeah, you already know how it go, fam. I don't even have to say nothing.
Right.
So we have to conduct ourselves in a different way than how other people do on their jobs.
Other nations.
So, right. So
just be honest.
Because a lot of people already have this image of us. Angry black woman.
Or angry black man.
Angry black man. So
sadly.
Right. We talk all the time about this. Us when we speak up, we're being angry.
Right.
But if other nations speak up, they have authority, or they just they have vigor.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See how they have a play on words, family?
Absolutely.
So
and
you just have to be aware of it.
This multiple times. If you speak up about something that is not right.
Oh, you angry.
You are angry.
What?
Why are you talking so loud?
But when they do it, it's you have to calm down. Just give them some room. Give them some space. Give them some space. They just a little riled up. Give them a little bit of space.
But true.
It happens, family.
It's true.
Again.
This is our experience. And many other people experience who looks like us.
Right. We just have to. It's the truth, family. Certain people, they have to conduct themselves a different way. And what we're telling you, family, is that you just have to be aware of those things. You have to be aware of it. Another example, Old Testament, family, again, lack of self-control, or what having self-control. If you do have self-control, you will get blessed. Things will start to happen for you. Yah will bless you. Let's think about Joseph. Family, remember when Joseph was tempted by Pharaoh's wife? He showed self-control.
Right.
Joseph was like, I'm out of here. I don't want no. Yeah, he fled. He fled. He was tempted.
He flew.
He's like, I'm out of here. I don't want no part of it.
Bye-bye.
Just think of if he would have acted on that, or if he would had a lack of self-control. What would have happened to him? Pharaoh would have probably killed him.
I know Yah's judgment would have
right.
come
Oh
upon him.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But he had self-control. Guess what? He got blessed.
Right.
Now he got a position. He got a position in the kingdom. He got
That's a
rescued.
Good one,
right.
Because it shows what self-control can do for us.
Right. Right.
That's a good one.
And not acting in the moment.
Right.
Because that's what happens a lot of times. A lot of people, they don't think about the after effects. They think about the now. Just like how Esau did.
And how that can block your blessings.
Exactly.
Because as you just stated, if he would have acted on it, it would have blocked what Yah wanted to bless him with.
Exactly. Yah blessed him with greatness, positioned them for greatness.
Absolutely.
And look how it dominoed down the line. He ended up saving his family.
Right.
Because of the decision he did. Ain't that something? Think about it, family.
Because of the decision of one person.
One person. You see how it can affect?
Domino effect. It can trickle over.
That's why a lot of people, especially in religion, family, they don't, Christianity, they don't think about the elders setting the example for the young people. They want to be friends with the world. They want to be just like the world. You're a grandmother, but you acting like you still 25 years old. Can't do that, family. Come on, you have to think of you setting that example. You think you got to think of those that's coming behind you.
Right.
That domino effect, what Sister Abigail was just talking about.
Right.
It all affects each other, families.
Absolutely.
One action just doesn't affect you; it affects the whole.
Absolutely.
Especially your family, your legacy. We got to think about all those things, family.
Yes.
Very powerful.
I'm sorry.
No, especially for our men. My men, this is the story of Joseph. Quick decision helped them. Position them for greatness later on in the future. His family put him in that position.
Wow.
If he would have acted on it, his whole family would have died probably, because they had the famine going on.
Right.
They was all starving. So he was in a position to help them. So that's stuff we got to think about,
deep.
family. That's all things we got to think about. How one decision, having a lack of self-control, can domino and affect everyone around us.
Right. Oh my.
You want to add something?
I did, but I got quiet. Some of you guys know Sister Ivy. Sometimes I talk, but I don't. So I forget.
Right.
So I be trying not to forget. That's why sometimes it come across.
It happens to all of us, family. We don't want to forget what's in our head.
But I kind of forgot. But
that's
no problem.
When we talk about it, the scriptures say, Proverbs chapter 25:28. You want to read that?
25, 28. Yes, it says, he that had no rule, he that had no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
Wow. Powerful. When we looked at when we was looking at those words in the Strong's family, it said for the spirit, it says spirit control, self-control. And I just thought about when it says that he is without the spirit, his own spirit is like a city that is broken down without walls. That's the King James Version. The English Version, Standard Version says, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. That's powerful, family. Again, I know Brother Rothschild like to talk about history and stuff. Imagine this, family. Picture this. Remember our ancestors, they lived in cities with walls. That was their protection.
Right.
To block the enemy from getting in. The enemy just didn't have free access to them.
Right.
They made it a hurdle or a challenge to get to them. Y'all got to cross this wall.
Right.
The only way y'all come through the gate, y'all got to breach the gate, family. And I was talking to this young brother the other day, and I was telling him, when we were talking about technology earlier, how these things can affect us, impact us. I said, especially as men, family, my men, we have to have walls up to protect us.
Right.
To protect us from these things, because again, Satan's tactic, especially at my men, he aims images at men. He throws these women at men, pictures of women half dressed, different things, family. We know all the stuff that goes on, internet, television, all of that.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, you can say it.
I was gonna say, and now today, which was a topic we were discussing the other day, is that it's not like back in the day.
Right. Oh, right.
Where it was difficult.
Y'all listen to this,
yes,
family.
where it was difficult for the young men today, even the older men today, to find
access to all of this.
To have access, right? To what would we call them? Provocative looking women that's showing everything and
whorish women.
Right. Speak
women.
the truth, whorish women. It was like hard for them to have access to that. But now, oh my goodness, you don't have to go and find anything anymore. All you have to do is get out.
Yep, it's going to find you.
Go put some gas in your vehicle. Yep. Go to the grocery store, to the post office, or wherever. Just run some daily errands. And we all
go for a walk.
Right, go for a walk. And we all know that we can't live in a bubble. We have to get out.
Right.
But you can now. It's just forced in front of our face.
Yep.
And we seeing it more now than ever.
Right.
And I'm sure you guys are seeing it now too. How it is getting so crazy.
Right.
And it's spirits on people, on these women.
Right. Absolutely. And it's not just women, men too. Same thing.
Right.
Same thing.
Oh, yes.
It's the same thing.
Oh, yes. I just didn't want to address the men.
Right. But it goes back to what we're saying, family. Especially me, I'm talking to my men, my brothers in the truth. You have to have walls to protect yourself. I mean, when I'm saying walls is, okay, set up blockers on your phone. Don't just be watching TV and they showing you all kind of stuff. Watching certain television shows. How are you in the truth and you watching housewives shows? These shows on BET. We heard about one the other day where it's Tyler Perry shows. Let's just say that.
We heard people speak about it. So
right.
Just want to be clear on that. We don't have access to no cable or none of that stuff.
But people telling us what they watching and stuff like that. And we like just shocked to hear what they're saying and what's on there.
Family, this family.
Right.
You know?
So family is just incredible, and you shouldn't have access. You should have a wall up where you're like, I don't want that in my house. Cut the cable, get it out of here. My phone, I got blockers on my phone.
Right.
I'm not just having access to all these websites and all that, because like Sister Abby I was saying, it's not a matter of when you're gonna see it. It's gonna come to you.
It's gonna come.
It's gonna. They throwing it in your face. You can't avoid it. So it's there.
You can go outside and check your mail.
Right.
It is there. That adversary is relentless right now in these last days.
Absolutely. So that's what we're saying, family. Having walls, having these boundaries to protect yourself from these things.
Absolutely.
What they say when you eat and when you have trying to tell you to lose weight or to follow a diet, they say don't buy these things, don't bring them in your house, because guess what? You're gonna eat it.
Right.
Keep the snacks in the store.
Right.
Don't bring it in the house.
Right.
And we letting these things come in our house when we have just let it have free access in our homes.
Right.
Or we paying for the cable.
Right.
We paying for these internet subscriptions and stuff like that, where
Right.
we're supporting this stuff,
Exactly.
supporting this foolishness.
Exactly.
So
and if you watch anything, let it be something that you can control.
Right. Exactly.
You can pick and choose what you want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not nothing that I just jump on the on TV and
right.
all kind of things is flashing
right.
in front of my face.
Right. Remember all the crazy commercials we used to see?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, some more stuff.
All
right.
those crazy commercials.
And we were actually just watching like some educational things.
Right.
And it still pops up.
So you have to be careful with YouTube too, family.
I was just about to say YouTube.
The only thing with YouTube is that you can skip the ad. Commercial,
Right.
I mean, you got to change the channel and stuff like that. But I mean, we have to be careful, family. But if we know that this station represents this, why would I even go there? Why would I even have access to it? And we know that's what they represent. So that's what we're saying, family.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look into, I want y'all to think about this too, family. What a lack of self-control, how is that impacting you guys' lives? What are some things that you deal with? I know some of it, for a lot of people, it's having bad habits. Whatever those habits is, unhealthy eating, not taking care of our bodies,
bad thoughts.
Bad thoughts.
I'm going to say this too. Thoughts are going to come.
Right.
But there's ways where you can have more healthier thoughts. And we touched on that in a past message where we was talking about gratitude.
Right.
And gratitude journaling. And focusing on the things that YAH has done for you.
Right.
Or maybe somebody has done for you in life, you know, that you're grateful for. But just focusing more on that to try to fill your mind more with positive thinking.
Right.
But the scripture says to take our thoughts captive to obey Yahuah. So that is saying that sometimes we gonna have some thoughts that we have to take captive. But it's as long as we're recognizing it when they come, you know, because that adversary is relentless, and as long as we have this flesh on us, you know, that's just inevitable that it's gonna come.
Right.
Something, you know.
And as you were saying that, I was thinking, family, it's just amazing how the mind works. When you were saying, when you gratitude journal and you're thinking about positive things, that's how our mind works, family. And the word tells it too. What a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So as we continually thinking about these things, positive things, you'd be surprised how that shows up in our life, how it affects our thinking.
What about the scripture? I don't know I can't recite it because it's not in front of me, but I'm sure you guys will know what I'm talking about when it talks about whatever things are true, whatever things are pure, how we should be thinking on those things, meditating on those things. Right. You know. Right. So it is actually telling us. Right.
That's what I was talking about earlier when I was saying how we have to water our minds with the word, water our minds with worship music, watering our mind with listening to lessons, meditating on His word. Right. Just having it on, just having that on in the atmosphere. A lot of you write to us and say, like, the meditations is so helpful to y'all because y'all have them playing in the background, or y'all have them playing while y'all sleeping at night, and it's so peaceful. So just things like that, family. That's all things that matter. That's important.
Right.
Where you're setting yourself up for success, and not setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
Having up those boundaries, family. And we were talking about some of the things that affect you guys, bad habits, what you said, negative thoughts.
Yes.
Social media. I would say social media.
Oh, yes.
Social media, family. A lot of it, social media, it stops us. It blocks us from receiving our blessing. It blocks us from focusing on the things that we need to do. It's a distraction.
It can be a distraction.
Right.
Social media is good to a certain extent because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't be able to be connecting, you know, through technology, and we wouldn't have been able to meet a lot of wonderful brothers and sisters in the belief, and we definitely wouldn't be able to be sharing the good news and sharing, you know, the favor of YAH, helping to draw people to YAH. Right. Without it. So that is the good part of when it comes to the social media.
Right.
But it can definitely be a distraction. Oh, it can be a distraction.
Yes, indeed.
You have to be very mindful of your time, you know, and just very mindful of the fact that it can be a distraction.
Right.
If you're not focused.
Right. Because I'm sure it happened to you, family. You're like, well, just let me go check on Facebook right quick. Next thing you know, you're on there for a whole hour.
Right.
So we've read stories, and I'm sure you've read them too, family, that when these people design these platforms, they design it to keep you on the platform. It's like it's a dopamine, or it's like gambling. You go gamble because you know, if I win, I'm gonna have this. This is my reward. So when you're on social media, I want to check who's liking my posts. That's the reward. Who's clicking on my stuff. The point that I'm saying is that these platforms that they're training us, they're trained to keep us on their platform. So we have to have limits. We have to have boundaries to say, okay, I'm just going on here for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then cut the phone off. Or if I'm doing work, flip the phone over. Because you keep getting those notifications. Oh, I got to check what's going on.
Right.
It's like all these things are begging for our attention, family.
Right.
And
even if it's some type of fellowship thing that you're doing online, or connecting with other brothers and sisters, you still have to have some discipline in that too. Right. You know, you have to have a cutoff time where you could actually be, because remember, this is technology, but you have to have a cutoff time for the real world, meaning like your life outside of technology.
Interacting with your family,
your
kids,
right, whomever. But just having some time outside of that is very important for your mental health.
Right. Going out, let me step away, man. Let me go take a walk.
Right. Even that, because you know, we have people that have shared that they don't have, you know, like some close family and friends, or you know, this walk also can be lonely. Right. You know, where some of their family and friends may have walked away from them, or you know, this what would we call that? Just not dealing with them anymore because of this truth. So if that's the case too, like Brother Rasha said, just getting out the house and saying, let me go, you know, for a walk, or
get some fresh air.
You know, just something that you can do to focus on some positive things, and actually to see the goodness of Yah, the real world, His nature, you know, His creation.
And really, kind of, it's how they're programming us right now is to stay stuck on the computer and everything, and not to interact with people. That's why we see, especially with the kids. The kids don't even know how to hold a conversation, family. Y'all know, y'all heard about it.
Oh my goodness.
They sit right next to each other and they texting.
We've seen that before when we went, me and Brother Rasha went to eat. And we were sitting down. I think we had shared that before in the past in one of our messages. But when we were sitting down and we noticed a little young couple, and the whole time they were just texting each other back and forth, sitting right next to each other, just texting back and forth. And I was just shocked out of my mind. We was just tripping out, sitting down like, are they really texting? And how we know is because when they would text, they would laugh and look at each other and say, you know, like, you got it, and like,
you can tell they interacting with each other.
Like on the text, and we like, whoa, what has happened? This world is.
When we was riding by that school the other day, we saw all the kids coming out. They all come out with the cell phone.
Yes.
Think about when we was in school, family. We interacted.
Everybody.
Right, we interacted with each other. We was ready, running, exactly. Who's going to fight?
And we all in conversations before we get on the bus.
Exactly.
Sometimes we had to, because when in middle school, I lived down the street from my school, so I walked to and from. So yes, we wanted to know about the action.
Exactly.
We were walking where the action was.
Right.
Like,
that's a big part of social development. Interacting with each other, and that's why our kids are so far behind kids of the world, is because they don't have that social interaction. Everything is
so
through
different
the
now.
Phone, technology.
Even the little guys, bless their little hearts. They don't even know how to talk to girls anymore. Now they have a new thing which has tripped us out, that you have to go through social media. A social media world now. You have to go through social media to show a girl that you like her now.
Yeah, they don't even know how to go up to the girl and tell them.
They don't even
hold
know
a
how.
Conversation and ask for the phone number.
It is so different now.
Everything is through social media.
Everything is through social media.
Let me get in your DM. I'm gonna slide in her DM.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier for them because they don't have to deal with rejection.
Rejection.
So I'm gonna slide in their DM.
And then the flip side of it for the girls, which is sad for our young women, is that when they see a guy who's actually still doing it the old school way,
right,
and doing it the right way, how it should be done, by going straight to the girl and talk to her, and just bold and confident, and bless their little hearts, because they look at it as it's weird. You coming to talk to me because they're not used to that. They're used to technology. You have to go through technology and pictures and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The youth shares it.
That's how you know
and
somebody
that's how we know what's going on, because we hear the youth talk about it, and we like, what has happened to this world? Our poor babies. We gotta pray for the young children.
Right.
Oh, we gotta pray for them.
It's again, family, what we always talk about on the channel, it falls back on the parents. We have to teach them the right way. That goes back to self-control, family. We're not disciplining our kids, not showing them the right way. They don't know how to do these things. They don't know how to interact.
And they don't know how to be able to witness what is actually the right way and what is not. They thinking that this is how a guy's, the guy thinking this is how I should approach a girl, and the girl is like, this is how a guy's supposed to approach me. And then once they get together, a lot of those relationships are breaking apart. They're not even lasting because it's superficial.
Exactly. They operating out of lust. They just going on what they see. Then when they get to know each other, oh no.
I don't. What did I sign up for?
What happened to building on friendship? Courting. What happened to that? There's no more courting. It's about the flesh. I see it again. Instant gratification, family. I see it. I like it. I want it. That's how it goes.
We talking about the young, but the older ones are doing it too. Oh
yes, same one again. What I was saying. The elders are setting examples for the young ones. So instead of being the elders that they're supposed to be, they want to be like the young kids. Nobody wants to get old no more.
Oh my goodness. And look at the state of the world. They need us. They need our guidance. These children need us, you guys.
We was watching this court show the other day when they had the judge talking to this young kid. Two young kids had a baby or whatever, trying to figure out who the father was. And this young man, 18 years old, family, talking to a judge. What he told her? She asked him a question. He like, no. She was like, what? No.
She asked him, do he have a job? Because he was going around and sleeping with multiple girls, like young girls. They were all of them were young.
Right. Fresh out of high school.
Right. And having babies. But he had no job. He was not supporting any of them. And the girls had to work to support their children. And so the judge asked them,
why you not working?
Right. Well, first she asked him, do you have a job?
Right.
And then he said no.
Right.
And she corrected him. Saying, who raised you? Saying, why aren't you working?
Right.
And who raised you? And his mom got defensive.
Right. And his mom was like,
I raised you.
Right.
With an attitude. And that judge read her tail.
Right.
You can finish
and discipline, right? That's what I'm talking about. Discipline. The young man had no walls. He had no boundaries. He didn't have no self-control.
And his father was not present.
Exactly. That's why it's important for the father's family.
Right.
But he had no self-control. That's why he was the father of two children at 18 years old, and he had no job. But his mama didn't install self-discipline. There are a lot of great moms out there that's doing the job that the best that they can, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Right, because they have
doing a great job, right?
Single
they're
moms
doing the best that they can in the situation, the hand that they're dealt.
Right.
But
she was like making excuses for him and didn't want no correction and didn't want to correct him.
Exactly.
That's a whole different story. Because she was enabling her child,
right,
to behave the way he was behaving, and. Well, I guess you can finish. About the part when how the judge held him accountable,
right?
And because she held him accountable, he started respecting the judge,
right? Because first he wasn't respecting the judge, right? And like you said, the judge read him and his mama.
Yep.
And then she's like, I'm gonna show you how it really goes. She said, you see when he disrespected me, I corrected him. And then after that, he talked to me with respect. That's how it goes. You have to show these children self-discipline. You have to give them some discipline. She was saying, you raise the bar high, they're gonna step up to that. You keep the bar low, the children.
That's what.
If you have my expectations low, I'm gonna stay there. If you have my expectation where I can have these babies and I don't have to have a job because the women gonna take care of them, and my mama gonna take care of me, he gonna stay there.
Absolutely.
He gonna stay in boy mode. What we say all the time, family. Society wants our men to stay in boy mode. That's why they stay always promoting video games, always promoting sports,
absolutely,
always promoting these things.
And you know,
boyhood stuff,
And the thing with that too is if society, not only society but the adversary for sure, he knows that if these young men grow up, he knows that they got purpose. He knows that many of them are going to be like some leaders in the community. Many of them going to have purpose. And he hates that. He wants to destroy a man's purpose. And matter of fact, he don't want leaders in this world.
Especially the men.
That's what I'm talking about.
Take the head out, the body gone.
Absolutely. So everything is by design. This is what the adversary wants. He wants to keep them stuck in that place.
And he keeps the men stuck by the impulsive behavior, family. Impulsive behavior. I'm not like Joseph. I'm going to stay with the temptation. I'm not going to flee. I'm going to keep acting out. I'm going to not think things through. Destroying their legacy. A lot of these young men, too, a lot of young women, they destroyed their legacy and what YAH has in store for them because they, again, one, they wasn't shown no better. They only know what they have. So a lot of them, they have to start behind the 8 ball because they started so young with what they say all the time. Kids making adult decisions and they still have a child mindset. So now by the time they overcompensate that and mature, they in their 30s. So it's like they starting way behind. They're still in the locker room. The game been going on.
And we can say it because we've been there. This is why we talk about a lot of things. Because we've been there or we've witnessed it. You know?
Absolutely. So very powerful, family. That's what we're talking about. So we know that self-control, self-discipline, that is a fruit of the Spirit. Paul talked about it. Let's read that scripture. That's Galatians chapter 5. You want to read that? Starting at verse 22. Let us grab that for you right quick, family. Y'all drop them in the comments. Y'all have certain situations, examples that y'all like to share with us. We'd definitely like to hear it, family. We know our youth are in trouble, but like Sister Abiyah said, it's not just the youth. Satan is going after the elders. Going after our generation, middle age, senior citizens, everybody.
We have to remember that a lot of the youth is repeating what they see in the home because we always say it starts in the home. And then you still have some that'll just rebel even though you taught them right. Even though you taught them right. But Galatians 5 says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. And those who are Messiahs have crucified the flesh and its passions and desires. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another.
Wow. If we live in the Spirit, let us walk in the Spirit. Satan would have us gratify the works of our flesh. Gratify our flesh. And we gave all the examples, family, what happened when we don't have self-control. Esau lost his birthright because he was hungry. He couldn't wait. Impulsive. Moses didn't make it into the land because provoked the anger. Who Cain killed his brother. Again, anger. So all these things, family, we got to walk in the Spirit.
And I want to give one because I wanted to touch on this, but I think that's what I had forgot earlier. One of them also is gossip.
Oh,
one
right.
also is
one.
Gossip.
That's a big one.
Absolutely. Because how many times you may have been in a situation or know somebody who have, I don't know. But what the Bible talks about our tongue.
Right. Right.
So I'm sure many of you have probably been in this situation where you just got caught up.
Right.
Because you was talking to someone and they were gossiping. Or they were trying to pull you into their gossip. And either you got caught up in it and realized it later, or you had to flee from that.
Right.
You know, you had to get yourself out of that situation. But gossip can also affect your spiritual walk.
Right.
Because, like I said, a lot of times we can get caught up in saying things that we regret later.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to mention that because it's very important to be careful with gossip. You know, because matter of fact, too, when you're gossiping about people, sometimes lies can slip in.
Yep.
And you don't even realize it, and then you think about it and like, oh, I don't even know if that's true or not. And so then now you go off into slandering. So it's just better to just prevent that and not get caught up in it. If somebody's trying to suck you into there, because some people, like when you got people that like to gossip, that's a spirit on them. And so that spirit is trying to draw you in.
Right.
And that is nothing that you can do anything about. That is a spirit.
Right.
And that spirit could also come on you too if you indulge in it. You know, if you go back and forth with them and gossip. So what you want to do is definitely be aware when somebody's trying to get you caught up in that. You know, just be more mindful of what you're saying and just let them know, you know what, I have to go. Or whatever way you can dodge them. Dodge the conversation, dodge it, so that spirit don't come on you. So that's also important for us to be disciplined when it comes to our speech. You know, governing our speech and being careful not to get caught up in gossiping and slandering people.
And definitely avoid these type of people on your job, family. Because when you was telling that story, I thought about when I was on the job when I had first started the job, family. And I was new on the job, just trying to get to know these people. And I went to this location, and there was a lady in the office, and they were all talking about this lady, how she likes to gossip, she talks. The lady just met me for the first time. A truck was in the way, and they wanted me to move or whatever or something. And I went out there and moved. And what do you know? When I get back to my location in my city, they called and had a report on me. The lady actually called. She said, he didn't listen to me. He didn't move that truck like I wanted him to. I'm like, what? This lady is a straight gossip. I did everything what they asked me to do, and she turned around and flipped it on me. So it goes back to what you're saying. You can't even feed that stuff into these people, because they're going to take what you say, and even though they might be saying it, they're going to flip it and say that you did something wrong. So we have to be careful of that. They're going to flip it on you, even though they're the one that started the gossip and pushing the mess.
Talebearer.
Yep. They're going to flip it on you like you did it. Even though they came to you with the situation.
Now your name is in something. Your name ends up into something, and then they say such and such said this. Well, they said this. They told me this when they started the whole conversation.
You was minding your business.
Right.
Sitting there minding your business. So we just have to be aware of these people, family. And you were saying
and not be these people.
Exactly. And you're saying being aware of gossip. Another thing too, we talk about just being careful of. And I don't know if this would fit in gossip, but a lot of times, family, we talk about eating off of too many tables, because that can distort your mind. That can get you off on the wrong path.
We say this all the time, all the time,
because we've seen it.
We say it for a reason. We know what we're talking about. We don't know everything.
No.
But when we keep telling you guys and warning you guys about something, believe that we know what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Don't eat off of too many tables. This walk is not that difficult. And we said it before. The most difficult part is to fight this flesh each day when
right.
we get up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the adversary going to always try to throw something at us.
Mm-hmm.
So that, but by Yahushua, we can do it.
Exactly.
We are healed.
Exactly.
His spirit can
yes.
guide us to making the right decisions and doing the right thing.
Yes.
But that is just the truth. If we not careful,
that's a lack of self-control too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you feel like, man, I don't have enough.
Right.
That thing of self-control, it said, the definition said contentment, family.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be content.
Right.
Just be content with where you at and what you have.
Right.
And be like, yeah, he gonna give me what I need when I need it.
Right.
When it's my time to get it.
There's nothing wrong with learning
right.
and growing.
Right.
We want to encourage you guys to do that. That's not what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we still
right.
be learning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we always say, don't do too much. Take your time.
Right.
And don't eat off of too many tables. Meaning, take something from here. Take something from there. Take something from here and there and everywhere. When people trying to teach something totally new.
Yep. And they contradicting what you already learned. So now you start to doubt, family. That's what Satan wants you to do. He wants to choke that word out of your heart.
Absolutely.
And when you start doubting, that's when he got you, family.
And you got 4 different things now running through your head that you heard. And you trying to figure out.
Which one is true?
Which one is true? Go with what he gave you already.
When we listen to other ministers and family, we chew the meat, spit out the bone. But when they go on like off the pad, we like, time to turn the station.
Oh yes, we turn the station.
when they start going,
these are people in the truth.
Right.
Now. But and if we have to listen to anybody, that would be like a false prophet to kind of hear the indoctrination.
Right. Just what they teach.
Right. To what's going on in the world.
Right.
So we can. That helps us too to know what's going on.
Right.
When we meet people.
Right.
And they try to share some things with us, but we like Brother Russia say, we turn that station.
Oh yeah.
We not trying to hear that foolishness. If it's off, completely off, we like gotta go.
Because think about it, family. Does that lead to our salvation? That's the number one question you got to ask yourself. Is what I'm learning, does that lead to my salvation?
Right.
Does that have anything to do with my salvation?
Right. And I want to say this too. When you ask that, that's a good question. Good question. We don't follow a whole lot of people.
No.
Let's just add this. We don't listen to a whole lot of people.
No.
We got to add this. The people that we listen to are people that is in this truth.
Right.
And they actually preaching
the
right thing.
Right. And they've been in it for a long time.
They seasoned. They elders.
Exactly.
So who we're listening to, we not going all over listening to 50 million different people.
They just started a ministry. And
let me hear what
test the spirit because
test the spirit.
Well, we always tell y'all we've been in this truth for 13 years. And we just started. So we've been seasoning this. We're not just 1 year, 2 year, and now let's start a ministry.
Right.
Because family, we've seen so many people, say elders, I don't know, or leaders or messengers. I'll say that messengers that came through and they fell off, family. Year, 2 years, 3 years, they flamed out. They went into a whole different doctrine, whole different direction. We was talking about that guy earlier this morning who we used to always hear about. He went back to Christianity.
Right.
He was on fire for y'all.
He was on fire. He was on fire. But then
singing
sometimes
songs, everything.
Sometimes he would come back and he would say some off the wall stuff.
Right.
And then because we would be going with him and supporting, but then sometimes he would be like, he would say some off the wall stuff and be like, I don't know.
Off, right.
Right.
Off.
So he did that too many times, but we like to give people grace and the benefit of the doubt. But eventually he steered off.
Yeah.
And that's when he started eating off of too many tables.
Exactly.
You can kind of tell.
Yep. That's what we always say. We can see it, family.
We can see
see
it.
straight through it. Some things start being off.
To confusion. And then the minute you become confused, you will begin to doubt.
Absolutely.
We cannot say this enough.
Absolutely.
Because they have a lot of false teachers. They have a lot of people who put in titles in front of their names. Mm-hmm. And because they have titles, people are clinging, flocking to them and thinking that they have the unadulterated truth. Mm-hmm. You have to judge the spirit. You have to judge everything. And do it with us too. Go in the word to confirm the things that we are saying.
Exactly.
You know, and if it's something off, message us. We tell you guys
Email us. Yep.
All the time. Email us and let us know because we're human too.
Absolutely.
We don't claim, we say this all the time, we don't claim to have the unadulterated truth. Mm-hmm. And we won't ever do that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Very true.
So
great
be careful,
points.
you guys.
Great points, Sister Abiyah. Great points. Mm-hmm. Let's continue reading in the New Testament, family. 1 Corinthians, this is Paul again, chapter 9, starting at verse 24. Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we for an imperishable crown, for our reward, family, our ultimate reward. Mm-hmm. Sit on the right hand of Yah. Make it to the kingdom, family. It says, therefore I run thus, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, not as one who, when I have preached to others, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, not as one who beats the air. Verse 27, but I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified. Paul saying, I discipline my body. I have self-control, family. Self-control is important to our walk, family. Well, that's something that we discount, I think, because a lot of people in the truth, again, we always focusing on learning these other things. I have this knowledge. Enough is just focusing on ourselves. Mastering ourselves. Mastering our spirit. Getting closer to Yah, that's enough. That's a job within itself, family. So we have to listen to what Paul said. We got to discipline, bring our body under self-control.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Very true, family. Let's look at James also, chapter 1, verse 19. You want to read that? 19 and 20?
My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that Elohim desires.
Remember Cain? Moses? That's what happens. We was talking about it, family. Anger, not thinking things through. That can be sudden destruction, sudden judgment by Yah, because you didn't think things through. You got so much in a rage. We have to be able to control our emotions, family. What I said earlier, emotions are fleeting. They're going to pass. They're going to go. So just, you might have to step back. Take a step back. That time when we went to Walmart. We were waiting the line. You know when you're in the front of the store, family, and that's a lot of times people are waiting in cars for the people that's walking, going into the store, in and out the store. And we was waiting for people to come out. They had that guy in that Corvette. He passed by me and we was waiting, and he impatient. He was angry. He passed, zoomed right by me, start cursing. I was like, you know what? It's not even worth it. Self-restraint, family. I know it's hard. And Satan used people to get us out of character, to make us get angry.
Absolutely.
To drive us to that point. But we have to be aware and say, nah, it's not worth it. What that scripture just said. It's not of Yah. Walking in anger is not of Yah, family. So we have to be wary of that.
Definitely don't want to sit on that anger neither, you know.
What the word says, don't let the sun sit down on your anger.
Sit down on your anger, absolutely.
So let's close with this verse, family. I hope you're getting edified from this message, family. Again, this is something that we all have to deal with. We all have to be aware of. Self-control. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. You want to read that?
It says, for the spirit of Elohim gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline.
For the Spirit Yahuah gave us does not make us timid, does not make us afraid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. So it's saying, family, He gives us the power to walk in that self-discipline, to have self-control.
We have the Spirit to allow us to be able to do those
things. So we shouldn't be afraid and be like what those Christians say, I'm not perfect. So I could keep sinning. I'm under grace. The scripture telling us we have power to have self-discipline. That's why I love being in this truth. Just go ahead.
You took it out of my mouth when you said I was literally about to say that's why I love being in this truth.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you shocked me with that. I literally was about to say the exact same thing.
That's why we love being in this truth. I'm gonna speak for both of us because we're not trying to talk like the Christians talk. I'm not perfect. What? The scriptures never said that. The scriptures tell us that we have the power to be self-disciplined.
Absolutely.
Y'all don't want any discipline. That's why y'all say that. And y'all want to keep walking in sin.
Absolutely. This has been so amazing coming into this truth because it's no greater feeling to be able to see other people who feel the same way like you, who don't desire to live in sin, who desire each day they wake up to do what's right, to strive to do what's right.
Yep.
And we don't make, us in the body, we don't make excuses for sin. I'm talking about real believers who are really living it out. We are not here making excuses for sin. We understand that we're fallible. We understand we're not trying to go around saying that, sin does not, we've never sinned. We don't sin, because then we would be lying. The scriptures tells us plainly, if you say you have no sin, you are deceiving yourself, and the truth is not in you. So we're not trying to say that, but I'm saying we wake up each day with a desire to live right, with knowing that Yah's Spirit can help us to do that very thing. Loving, repent. We've repented. We acknowledge the fact that repentance is turning our hearts back to Yah and coming away from sin.
Absolutely.
This is a great feeling, because Christianity, oh my goodness,
you hear all type of different doctrines, and I'm saved by grace. I could do whatever I want.
Everything is grace, 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 grace,
Everything
grace.
is
grace,
love,
grace,
love, love, and
that's it. Grace and
you
love.
You can sin
grace
all you
love,
want. That's
grace
it.
Love.
What? Well, y'all not trying to walk it out? Like we said, throw out the Bible.
Should we continue in sin that grace may abound?
Didn't Paul say that? They love to bring up Paul. They love to bring up Paul.
And then when you start bringing up Paul, saying Paul was even judging and telling people that you don't stay in sin and all these things.
Right.
Now they come and discredit Paul and say, Paul he preached a different doctrine than Christ.
Christ hung with the sinners.
When we heard one the other day where they said, what did they say? They said Christ never rebuked sinners.
Right, yeah, never rebuked the sinners. Woo! So he never went in the temple and flipped them tables over. He just did it just for the heck of it. And
so Revelations don't say those he loves he rebukes.
They forgot about that part. So I think what you're trying to say, Sister Abiyah, is that our brothers and sisters in the truth, that's why we love them, because we're not fussing about these different
Exactly.
We're not fussing about
to fuss about no sin. We all know better. We all know that we're not supposed to be waking up every day saying we're going to be sinning today, and we're not desiring sin. If we really love Yah and living it and walking this walk out.
Bingo. Very
true. So this is what we love about the truth.
It's a good feeling. We don't have to fuss over.
We don't have to.
We done matured out of that stage.
Right. Now you still have some debates and things go on within the truth. We don't get caught up in that. But what we're saying is the overall thing is we all know that sin is wrong and that we should not be living in sin.
And we're not going to be on here defending it.
Exactly.
We're not going to be here defending no sin.
Exactly.
We're going to call it out who it is, wherever it's at.
Right.
Wrong is wrong, right is right. And
period.
We judging everything according to Yah's word.
Yes.
That's how we live our life, family. So
absolutely.
Family, we're glad that y'all joined us today. again, we hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy time with your family. Get outside, family. Go take your walk. Get you some exercise, whatever, fresh air.
Check out this beautiful weather.
Exactly. So
depending on where you are, I know it's different.
Be appreciative of y'all, like we said, of that we are here. You get let us see another day, family. So enjoy that. Again, enjoy time with him, time with your family, giving them all praises, giving them gratitude, family.
Right.
Because it's important. Because nothing is promised. It's not promised, family.
Right.
So we love you guys. Again, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share this video if it was edifying. And we definitely will talk to you guys next week.
All right.
Shalom.
Later, guys.